Hello everyone and welcome back to our fourth week of this training course. If you followed us along this whole time, I'm sure you've gotten some great value. Week 1, I gave you the real overview of what social branding entails. Week 2, we dove into that really long session where I actually showed you some of the processes I use personally and for my clients to figure out what their audience wants, figure out where they're congregating, figure out what their competitors are doing and how that's working out. Again, you're going to need to go into this. It's going to take time. So the amount of time that week 2's videos were, you're going to spend a lot more time actually implementing this yourself, which is why a team can come in handy in this process. Week 3, last week we covered the social branding as far as organic traffic. We really talked about how you can leverage Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and everything else under the sun to get results. And again, it's not only social media. Sometimes it's forums, sometimes it's specific community websites. Whatever it is, you need to make sure to get behind them. Maybe it's a podcast that you look towards. This week, of course, we're going to actually look at the inexpensive advertising methods. I just mentioned podcasts, that's one of them, but let's just take a step back. So I'm going to start just by giving you an overview, then we'll go into some details. Because one of the things I want to stress here is that there are a lot of people who use these methods, and if you do not use them correctly, they are not going to benefit your brand as well as they could. So just as branding is all about forming that strategy, identifying your audience, identifying you, and really honing in on that message, so too is the marketing part of this, which is what this is. This is advertising to build your brand. Now traditionally, we've spoke about before, you might use TV, radio, newspaper. That's way too expensive for us and it's way too untargeted. We want to target people carefully. So some of the ways we do this are with paid Facebook ads, paid Instagram ads, even sponsored Pinterest ads, podcasts, focused podcasts, YouTube advertising, and any other related thing that you can actually spend money to get results. Now I'm going to stop with the ones I just named because those are the ones I'm going to talk more about today. Facebook ads is one of the most powerful sources out there to do this, so I'm going to start with them. If you're building an organic Facebook following, it can take you months. Usually we say 9 to 12 months before you'll get anything substantial. Yes, you'll start getting followers the first month, but for it to really convert to your bottom line and for you to be getting a solid return on your investment for the time you spend, it's going to take about a year. Because if you're not willing to spend a dime on ads, that's just how it goes. On the other hand, when you spend money on ads, you immediately have the potential to get a return on your investment, and if you do it smart, you will. Now this is not a Facebook ads training video, so bear with me, I'm just going to be quick. You'll notice I don't even have the whiteboard today. All I'm doing is recording this from my living room. I got a nice red backdrop here just because this is what I feel like doing today. I didn't think going in front of a whiteboard was necessary for this training. So with Facebook ads, what you have to do is you really have to focus in on that audience. We looked in week 2 on how the audience insights tool could be used. Use that. Figure out exactly who to target and how to best reach them. Then rather than just creating a bunch of different ads, the key to success here is to actually create one ad with a headline, copy, and the description there. And then you take about 5 or 6 different images and you run that one ad using all of those 5 or 6 different images, and you just test that with a small budget. Now the key here is not just the small, you want to do the small budget so you figure out which image works best. But the key here is also you want to target different audiences with the same ad. So one of the common things, even high performers will do what I just described, but they'll just take every single potential target and throw out the ads. What we do here, and this is an advanced strategy, so again, this might not be a Facebook ad training, but listen to me right now. What I am teaching you will give you a much higher return on investment. Instead of targeting every single audience with one ad, create a different ad group for every single target. Literally one target. So if you're a speaker and you want to target people, you speak about health, let's say, and I wouldn't suggest doing this strategy, but let's say you just want to target people who like yoga, who like weight training, who like running, who like nutrition, who like veganism, what have you. You target each one of those separately. So you create 6 ads with 6 different images for all 5 different groups. So you're starting out with a bunch of different ads. Now what you do from there is you test that. So you're spending money on all those ads. You test it, see which one performs the best, and then what you do is you pick the best picture, then you change the headline. You pick the best headline, you choose the best description. You choose the best description, you change the best ad copy. You change all of those. Don't do it too quickly though. You need to wait at least 24 hours between iteration, and once you're done, you get to figure out who the best audience is, you get to figure out what the best ad copy is, you get to figure out the best image, and going forward, you get to see what performs the best. Again, I'm not going into details. You need to monitor your relevancy score, you need to monitor your click-through rate, you need to monitor your cost per click. There's a lot of different KPIs, key performance indicators, that you need to stay on top of, and this is not an ad training, but I want you to remember again what I just told you. Diversify and test, test, test. If you do that and you learn the technical side of the Facebook ads, you will get tremendous results. And this comes from somebody who, when I originally started using Facebook ads, I was like, I don't get what the hype is. I'm barely breaking even on half of these. But when I learned how to use this system now, Facebook ads are my #1 producer, period. There is nothing that compares to the power of Facebook ads. With that said, you may want to go to Google and run PPC ads. That's another way to get easy clicks for easy results. The key there is to make sure that you have an optimized landing page. If you're a local business, for instance, or let's say you're a professional service business and you serve 3 different cities, you're going to create 3 different landing pages, 3 different ads, and 3 different targeting options for all 3 cities, so that when people search from one city, they find your page that specifically says that city. For instance, I'm in the Tampa area, so that could be Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. And let's just use those 3 as examples. And let's say you're in Clearwater, you search, and I'm an attorney, then it's going to come up. You click, it's going to say attorney in Clearwater. You click, it's going to say find your Clearwater attorney when you land on the page. I know I'm going really fast here, and the reason is I want to get you this value, and I understand that some of you are, well, all of you are extremely busy. You're trying to build your business. So hopefully you can keep up with me. And since it is a video on YouTube, you can always rewind and watch again. Then the next step here, Pinterest ads can be very valuable. Just keep the testing in mind. Just keep the targeting, keep the testing in mind. I'm not going to go into detail on that one. Same with Instagram. Instagram is part of Facebook. When you build a Facebook ad, you can actually choose the option to show it on Instagram as well. Depending on your industry, depending on the graphics, depending on where your audience might congregate, maybe you discover that your audience doesn't care about Instagram. It's not worthwhile. But if you're in the restaurant industry, if you're a photographer or videographer, obviously, if you're in any visual industry where people want to see your stuff, you want to check out those Instagram ads as well. And again, you can build that directly through Facebook's ad platform. And the next thing you want to consider is what have I covered so far? Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Google. So the next thing you definitely want to consider is YouTube. Video marketing is the bee's knees right now. No, that's not really from my generation, but I said it because what the hell. Anyways, it's really popular right now. It's the big deal. And it's really popular. It is the big deal because it gets more results. I mean, Facebook Live, you can get up to 10 times the engagement from a Facebook Live video as you will from an image or from an image. From text, it's even more. So YouTube is one of those ways to get your videos out there, and you can do videos organically on YouTube, right? But the other thing you can do is you can actually pay for ads, and they're usually not very expensive. You choose, maybe there's a specific set of videos, a specific channel you want to advertise on. You can advertise on that channel, you can advertise in that industry, you can advertise before those videos, and you don't really pay unless they watch enough of your video for it to make an impact. If they decide to skip in those first 5 seconds or whatever, you're not going to be charged for that view. So it's really nice because you get in front of your audience with a targeted video ad. Now granted, here's the caveat with that. Just like I spoke about the strategy with Facebook and with any of these other platforms, there is a strategy behind YouTube. You need to make sure the ad you run is consistent with your brand. You need to make sure it speaks to your audience. You need to make sure that it's well done. Frankly, if I were running ads, they would be better done than these videos I'm offering you right now. Yes, I just said up front, I realize the quality of these recordings is not 100%. It's not the best you're going to see out there. Currently working on hiring a videographer and getting professional work done. Right now, I'm working with my own stuff. And as you can tell, the camera quality is not as good as a professional would be. But as I try to go through that process and find the best person for the job that fits my needs and I fit their needs, this is what you get. If I were advertising though, again, when I do this for clients, they hire professional video companies to make their ads. If not, the other option is to create a whiteboard video or an animated video of some sort, which again, you have to pay for to get it done right though. We've had some of those produced that we have run ads in the past, and those can be effective. But again, if you're going to get in front of the camera like I am right now, this isn't even good enough quality if you're running an ad. The reason I'm able to put this out in this platform is because I already have an audience on my blog, which I direct here, or Twitter, or Facebook, which I direct here. And again, I'll probably even get some complaints from people that the quality isn't 100%. All I care about is getting you the content, which you should realize by now is part of my brand. There's a reason I always wear this outdoor shirt. I always wear cargo pants, which you can't see. And I always just wear sneakers or sometimes hiking boots, depending on where you see me. I love the outdoors. I love that. That's part of my brand, and I'm all about utility I'm about function, not form. So that's why I don't look the most attractive all the time. But keep that in mind as you're branding yourself and building that out there. And you have to assess whether what you're putting out there is really going to reach your audience, whether it's going to make the impact you have in mind. I hope this video helps. Let me kind of summarize what I've gone over. So last week we talked about the free social tools. This week we consider that there are ways to spend money and to get fast results. Facebook, to get 1,000 impressions on your ad, you're only going to spend like $30-40 tops. And that's a huge impact. And if you're getting a half decent click-through rate, you're getting some nice clicks on there. You're going to be able to start measuring your results. Same with YouTube. You can spend pennies literally per view of your ad. A lot of times you'll spend 5-10 cents maybe per view. And if you target them right, it can be highly effective. Same with any of the other platforms I mentioned. You get really effective results for a low price. And this is how you can go in with a budget of $500, $1,000 of advertising. And that might still sound like a lot to some of you, but you go in with that budget and you can get hundreds and hundreds or sometimes thousands of new leads, prospects, customers, depending on what your business is, obviously. If you're selling a high-ticket item, you're going to get a lot of leads, but you're not going to convert all of those to customers. On the other hand, if you have a local business, you're going to get a lot more foot traffic. And if you can figure out a way to get the average cost of the transaction, the average customer value to be higher than the average cost of your ads, then you end up getting a great benefit. And again, it's immediate. So I hope this gives you some ideas, and I hope you really understand that sometimes spending money on these ads is the best way to build your brand. Just remember, it is all targeted. It is all highly targeted. It is all intended to focus on you, on your audience, and what you need. I hope this series has been helpful. I actually am going to have some bonus videos coming up in the next few weeks, and I hope you come back to us for those as well. I will see you guys soon.